Men felt like Will was destroyed in this video. They were like, look at the pain and hurt on his face.
I ain't see Will that hurt since Carlton threw up that last second shot and airballed, yo. So, Jada brought herself to the red table, guys.
You know what I don't like about this? It was mad short. She got herself out of there less than 15 minutes. Everybody else being there for hours.
It was like 12:48. It was like 12 minutes, 48 seconds.
I'm in,
12 minutes strong.
All right, Bianca, you're a woman, you're a therapist. We needed you on this shit because there's a lot of shit to unpack here, yo. There's so much
unpacking to do about this 12-minute clip. It's sick.
You know what? I'm gonna start it with this. Is Jada a predator?
Is Jada a predator? I have seen, and I'm sure you guys have too, I have seen especially women calling Jada a predator all over the internet since this video dropped. Even before the video dropped, when August's interview first came out, people were calling her a predator, saying that basically he was in a deep state of depression. His health was failing. She's X amount of years older than him. She took advantage of him in that moment. It's one of those situations where I don't want to be quick to call her a predator. And I don't want to be quick to call her a predator because we've not heard August identify himself as feeling like a victim.
All right, so here I'm gonna come with no education, and I'm gonna challenge your statement right here. All right, I'm the goddamn fool of this fucking podcast since you want to go and get fucking masters. Both of y'all masters ass having motherfuckers. So I'm gonna bring the goddamn foolery to this podcast and tell me if it makes sense. All right.
Okay.
It won't. Keep going.
I'm listening.
Don't some victims not realize they're victims? They're being victimized? Yes. Doesn't it take a therapist to talk to them and say, you were taken advantage of? Right? Sometimes that needs to come out in therapy. No, sometimes they don't even realize that. Sometimes someone else from the outside has to look at it and say, yo, she's taking advantage of you, dog.
Okay, before you continue, I want to stop there to say that as a therapist, it is not our job to tell a client they are a victim of something.
Oh, no, I'm telling you what your job is, Bianca. I don't care what you learned in school. I'm telling you what your job is.
So, if August came in to see me, right, and he was talking about all of this, I would let him work out his feelings about the situation and kind of reiterate them back to him until he decides whether or not he feels like he was a victim of her behavior or not. It's not my job necessarily to tell him he was a victim of something, especially because victimization can be very complicated. Some people take that and feel empowered by it, and some people take that and feel destroyed by it. So it's really on the client to kind of work out what that means for them.
Yeah.
And the other part of it that I would say is that we don't really know what happened between them. She's saying that this occurred almost 5 years ago.
No, we know what happened. It was an entanglement. That's what happened.
It was an entanglement. So we know something romantic happened between them almost 5 years ago. She met him through her son, which is just fucking creepy.
Why are you giving me safe words? They were fucking.
Okay, they were fucking. Does that make you happy?
Yes, because you're like some sort of romantic. Stop beating around the bush, man.
I'm not negating that they had sex. I don't know what I don't know if they fell in love with each other. I don't know how long this entanglement lasted. Like, did the entanglement come before the situationship? Is entanglement like the precursor to situationship, or is it like in between? Then Will called it a relationship. I don't fucking know. I have not had an entanglement. In my day, they were situationships. So I don't really know, so to speak. But we don't really know what happened, because when August spoke about it in the interview, he spent maybe 3.5, 4 minutes discussing it. And it was like, yeah, this happened. Will give us his blessing, blah, blah, blah. No real details. We don't know if he started the more romantic process of it, if she did. I don't know.
You think he was like resting his head on her shoulder and then they just took it from there?
I don't know. I don't know. I do know, and I will say this.
Like, that's what I envision, yo. Him crying, one single tear.
Son,
and they just look look each other in the eyes, and then they slowly lean in and kiss each other.
What's wrong with you?
I will say that if Jada Pinkett-Smith had been a man in this situation, I think we'd be having. But there's two parts to that, I feel like, because we're so used to men dating women and sleeping with women and taking advantage of women who are so much younger than them that either it wouldn't even have been on our radar and everybody would have just kind of ignored it like, okay, today is Tuesday. Or the man would have been villainized to the nth degree, again, with no real information being had. I think the added complication of him being sick is what's making people jump to the victimization conversation, which I get.
Right.
It's good to be thinking about things in that way, but I do think that we can overthink it. I don't know if August feels like he is a victim of Jada. I just don't know that that's for us to necessarily decide. Because we're assuming that she was also in a place mentally where just because she was older than him, that somehow she was in a position to take advantage of him. But the wording that she uses in the conversation with Will, it sounds like she admits to being emotionally immature, to being emotionally unstable, all these different things that I think we link to age, but we all know people who are of age that ain't aged mentally or emotionally a fucking day in their lives.
You know,
so I don't know.
She said something about wanting to heal, right? Mm-hmm. And she almost like she treated a nigga like a project. Like she wanted to help this person heal is what she said. And then whatever happened after that. But I don't know if she's a predator or not. It just seems like they were both in a bad spot. And they were both kind of using each other for different reasons. And it kind of just fell into that.
And that's the thing. It almost sounds to me like they were using each other, which also makes me want to not lend myself towards calling him a victim. But if I had to look at the facts with her saying that she wanted to heal him and talking about her codependency issues, I definitely think there is a high chance she took advantage of him in that situation.
Yeah. I think she was more aware of what was happening than he was, for sure.
Even if she was emotionally unstable.
Right. She could see what was wrong with the nigga and decided to still go about this anyway.
The word predator is definitely extreme, but I definitely think she uses that for sure. That's what I think.
Right.
Now, Will, how is he handling it? Because
he looks stressed out.
Black men don't cheat. He ain't cheat on her. It was
like somebody opened up a gunshot wound all over again.
Yo. Damn, Will. He gonna get her back, though, he said. He said he gonna get her back. So I don't know what that means. I don't know how that...
That nigga already did. That nigga in his head thinking, ain't none of mine do this. Why you mess with this nigga? Ain't none of mine do this.
Right.
You mess with niggas with shit to lose.
I think a lot of, especially men felt like Will was destroyed in this video. They were like, look at the pain and hurt on his face.
I ain't see Will that hurt since Carlton threw up that last second shot and airballed, yo. To this day, yo, I can't get over that.
I don't think he was hurt. I think he was just like fed up. Like, this happened 4 or 5 years ago. We got to talk about it again because you're out here messing with goofy niggas. So now I got to hear about this all over again. And now I got to help you clean up your mess because you're out here messing with goofy niggas.
Yeah.
He probably like, I told you not to do this. You did it anyway. And now look at us. Looking stupid.
That's what it looked like to me. He looked irritated. And I think for somebody who values the privacy and sanctity of their relationship, because they've really been just mum's the word after all these years of people saying that they've had an open marriage.
And all that shit, yeah.
They've maintained that privacy. I think for it to be blown up in this way 5 years after the fact, it's one of those things where it's like, why the fuck am I talking about this right now?
Does August come back with another interview? Does he come back after this and give the breakfast? I mean, he already talked to Yee. Does he talk to the Breakfast Club? Does he talk to Joe Budden?
I don't know.
Can he get a haircut first?
Does he go on the red? Does he go on Red Table Talk?
He's got the Keisha Cole I should have cheated hair.
Could he cut that shit off his head though? Whatever he decides.
And this is another thing. So many people said that they felt like Will was hurt and like he was in pain during this video, but very clearly he said, I kicked your ass to the curb, Jada. I didn't want to be with you anymore. Right. So he left her. So, and then I'm trying to figure out how people perceive Will as a victim in this. Because I'm like, he said he left her.
They ain't talking about
had no intentions of returning back to their
They didn't talk about why. Maybe she had another August. Maybe she had July or something. Maybe she had a July that she was messing with before August. We don't know that. We don't know that.
July.
We don't know that. So that may be why he kicked her to the curb, is what I'm saying.
Nigga Will wasn't hurt. He was just tired. He was probably taking mad phone calls from people. Like, all this happened, and she messed with some singing ass nigga. Will was like, yeah, I know. I was there when it happened. I get it. This is a long time ago. We're clearly over. We're back
right.
under the same.
I seen a meme of Will Smith, and it said, "When you can't even kill her, because then she'll just be reunited with Tupac."
I saw that meme as well.
Absolutely. Can't even. She's gonna be right back with the nigga she really want to be with.
Yeah, I saw that meme as well.
Yeah.
That shit hurt me, yo. I'm like, oh.
I look at this 12-minute clip. I look at August's clip, and my summation of all of this is basically we don't know shit.
No,
they said a lot without saying really anything, and so it's hard for me to place blame. I think a younger, maybe less mentally evolved version of me would have been like, "Oh my God," and like been pointing fingers at everybody and talking all this shit. But having really seen a lot of life and been with people who have gone through experiences, my own experiences, getting ready to turn 30, I get it. I get everybody's position. I get August, I get Will, I get Jada. They're regular people. Like, I think we always want to pick the villain in a scenario, right? But they could all be the villain. Will might have just up and left her ass. We don't know why. He might have left her because he was in an entanglement of his own. We don't know. They didn't specify that.
Black men don't cheat.
Even with August sharing this, like I said, if he is a victim of Jada, if she did take advantage of him, if that is how he feels, he still weaponized the story for himself to make money.
Sure did.
Don't victims deserve something in return after the fact? Like, yo, you victimized me, but maybe I could capitalize somehow off of that shit. And I wish I didn't have to go through it to get it, but so it's like, all right, publicity for my album. This is what it is.
Well, I mean, I would say yes. We see artists do this all the time. They go through horrific things. People have mistreated them. They've been victims of whatever. They talk about it in their songs. They put it in their music. They put it in their art. Absolutely. Should you make money off your own stories? Sure. They're your stories to make money off of. But we have to acknowledge what that looks like too. Right? Yep. Because when a certain amount of time passes and you've had time to tell this story and you chose not to and chose not to and chose not to, why now?
He was healing.
And maybe he was. And maybe for him it was innocent. But we have to talk about, if we're going to talk about the perception of Jada, we have to talk about the perception of August too.
Right. No,
yep.
You're right. There ain't nothing about August Alsina that interests me other than this. So
right.
And we have now talked about it longer than the whole Red Table Talk.
Literally.
Because that's all Jada had. She was like, listen, man. Y'all gonna be out here talking bad about me. You getting 13 minutes. I'm gonna kinda say something. We were entangled. I don't talk to that nigga no more. Maybe it's for the best, maybe it's not. And that's it. That's all I got for you.